Hi, my name is Mary, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing a nonfiction micro-review of The Cartiers, the untold story of the family behind the jewelry empire by Francesca Cartier Brickell. I received this arc from the publisher, but this book is actually now out in print, so you can get your own copy, and I will link where you can do that down below. Francesca Cartier Brickell is, as her name suggests, a descendant of the Cartier family. Her grandfather was one of the last generation of Cartiers to actually own the business before it was sold out of family hands. And what sets her book apart is that she is using letters that she found in her grandfather's basement, an entire box of letters, as well as interviews with her grandfather to tell the behind-the-scenes story. We follow the Cartier family from their humble beginnings in 19th century Paris through to their meteoric rise into international acclaim as a household name in luxury jewelry. I found this book absolutely gripping. It was a pleasure to read, and I did not want to stop reading it once I had really gotten into it. It was a shame that I put off reading this arc as long as I did. One of the great joys of it that I found was that after having worked in sales myself, I loved each of the moments in which she discussed what the salespeople on the floor were doing and the ways that they organized the business and the ways that they appealed to their clients. I thought it was fascinating, and I think for salespeople, you might want to pick up this book. I think it would be something that you would enjoy. Of course, those of you who are interested in design as well will enjoy some aspects of this book, because this book does not shy away from talking about the different elements that Cartier used in the designs of their jewelry and how each of the different branches in New York, London, and Paris operated, and how they took inspiration from all sorts of things, from the 18th century art and architecture of France through to the newly discovered Orient and a kind of Orientalist style that developed in the later 19th century. But at the end, I end up conflicted, because while I enjoyed reading the book, at the end it left a bad taste in my mouth, and it took a little bit of time for me to figure out why. Of course, it is common knowledge that, in particular, the diamond trade, but also other gemstone trades, are violent, bloody, colonial industries. However, will you see any of that in this book? No. No, you won't. This book completely ignores any aspect of the jewelry trade that is unsavory. It really caught my attention because at one point, one of the brothers of the Cartier family goes to visit the places where these stones are mined and describes very briefly the conditions, but there's no amount of reflection on what this means for Cartier now, or what it meant in that period, or who might have suffered so that these people, these extremely wealthy people, can be wearing this amount of gems and pearls. There's also a kind of unfortunate way that poor people are discussed in this book as a kind of obstacle that the family has to overcome, rather than any amount of sympathy for people that are exploited, again, so that the people who are wealthy enough to buy Cartier jewels can be decked out in all of their finery. It really put a bad taste in my mouth. I'll say that this book is a laudatory family story, but it's not a history, and that is really what I want to emphasize in this. A history that ignores actual historical fact cannot be a history, and while I found this book enjoyable to flip through and there would be people to whom I would recommend it, I really think that an opportunity was missed to take a step back and have a broader view of the legacy of one of these jewelry firms. So, would I recommend this? I'm not sure. Maybe to some people, but always with a word of caution, and maybe with a link to some more information about the dangers of the jewelry trade and of economic exploitation. I gave The Cartiers by Francesca Cartier Brickell 2 stars. Let me know if you have read The Cartiers, and if so, what you thought of it in the comments down below. Thank you very much for watching. Bye!